Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and crash out. Excuse me, everybody's asleep. So, with my dad basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and crash out. I'll pick up this vlog in the morning, see how that goes from there. But yeah, today was a good day though. But yeah, I'm sleepy. So I'm gonna crash out. I'll pick up this vlog in the morning. I'll catch up with y'all in the morning. I love y'all guys. Stay safe. Brothers and sisters, it's Benj checking in here, and today is officially the next day. Last night I was vlogging, but I crashed out. I don't even remember nothing. I just remember telling my pops, I'm out, I'm going to sleep. I shut my door, turn on my fan, and a nigga was asleep. So today's vlog ain't really nothing special going on. It's too cold outside to do anything. So I'd rather stay inside, drink my hot cocoa, and watch TV and chill. So I figured today I'll give y'all some special content. So today I am gonna vlog about, basically tell a story about how I lost my mother. It's a very sentimental story to me. You know, back in 2011 I lost my mother from a heart attack, and it changed my life mentally, physically, you know, emotionally, and I don't see how I made it this far, you know what I mean? So we'll get into that right now, and I hope y'all enjoy y'all's day. Make sure you grab your blunt, popcorn, whatever you want to grab, and we'll get into it. Well, back in 2011, I lost my mother to cardiac arrest. Well, the doctors labeled it as a diabetes attack, which I never heard of that, and it led to a heart attack, and then she went into cardiac arrest. Well, back in 2011, in February, like a couple days after her birthday, months before, my mom had been complaining about chest pains, that she had been having chest pains. And, you know, I looked at it like, I was 14, keep in mind, I was dealing with school and all that. So, keep in mind that she's skinny. She's skinny, doesn't like to go to the doctor. She's one of those that, oh, I'm not going to no doctor. Like, I don't got money for that shit. So basically like that. So she had been complaining about chest pains, and me and my dad started talking, and I was like, well, let's take her to the doctor. So the moment we asked her, like, let's go to the doctor, she's like, hell no, I ain't going to no doctor. So I took it as like, maybe nothing's really wrong with her, because if she was like really, really feeling pain, then I know as a human body she would go to the doctor. So I really didn't take it as like, oh, those are signs of a heart attack. No. So like maybe like a month before, she had been complaining that she was waking up in the middle of the night and her chest was hurting like bad. And I knew right there I should have took that as a sign, as in, damn, like that's signs of a heart attack. But I was young, you know what I mean? I didn't think nothing of it. So 2011, February 17th was the day she died. My dad was at work, and he comes home, and my dad, like every Friday, he always takes us out to eat. Well, that day she didn't want to go nowhere, so like we didn't plan nothing. So she just said, go to Dairy Queen and give me some food. So we got dressed, me, my dad, and my sister. We got dressed and we started walking to Dairy Queen, and we're there ordering like nothing. Like, all right, like let me get this, let me get the chicken tenders, this and that. Well, I get a phone call. I get a phone call from my mother saying, hey, where the hell y'all at? I'm starving over here. And like, I didn't think nothing of it. Like, all right, like cool. We're on our way. We'll be there right now. And then I hung up with her. We start walking. And like Dairy Queen wasn't even far from the house. It was like kind of close. Kind of far, kind of close. It was walking distance. So after that phone call, we started walking, and I told my dad, I don't feel right. I feel like something's going on. So we get to the house, and I'm the first one in. I walk, and my mom had this recliner. She would always sit on this recliner, and she was sitting there, and I said, hey Mom, we're here, and I didn't get a response. So I walked up to my mom, and I seen her gasping, like on the recliner, sitting back, gasping for air, like, and that fucked me up mentally, because I had to see that. And I told my dad, oh my God, something's happening, something's going on. We get on the phone. When he gets on the phone, he calls 911. And he's like, yo, I think my wife's having a stroke. I don't know. And they were like, well, could you please explain, like, the symptoms? Like, she's showing, like, is she breathing? And, well, she's fucking breathing, obviously. Well, through all of that, me and my sister freaked out. We ran to the neighbors, and we told the neighbors, oh, I think my mom's having a heart attack, this and that. Well, the neighbor comes running over there. And from that amount of time, I went to the neighbors. We came back, the ambulance were already pulling up. They got there fast. Well, I'll never forgive the EMS that day, what they did. They were like, well, we can't work on her if your kids are going to be acting like that. Like, and I looked at the EMS and I told them, what you mean she's having a heart attack? Like, you want me to sit here and, like, be happy and drink a beer? No, bro, like, she's dying. What the fuck you want me to do? So they were like, we can't work on her unless y'all chill out. So we try to chill, but keep in mind, you're watching your mom die in front of your eyes, and there's nothing you can do when you got a fucking EMS who's trained in that type of shit. So they were like, we can't work on her until y'all calm down. Until then, we're gonna have to get SAPD out here for our safety. I was like, what in the fuck? So SAPD got out there, and they were like telling me, hey, calm down, man, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright. And for a moment there, I believed it. You know, I didn't think nothing of it. But the image I saw of my mother, and me tapping on her, asking her if she's alright, I still didn't believe it was gonna be alright. Well, her brother got there. He lived like a couple miles out of San Antonio, and he got there fast. Well, EMS loaded they loaded my mom up in the ambulance, and the last words I heard my mom say were, I need to go to the restroom. And for a moment there, she snapped out of it, like, I'm alright. My dad told her no, like, you were having a heart attack. And EMS there trying to, like, you okay, Miss Rebecca, you okay? Like, can you hear me? And she was like, yeah, I can hear y'all. And then when they put her in the ambulance, that's when she said, I need to go to the restroom. Well, my dad and my sister caught a ride with her brother in the truck, and they followed the EMS. And I stayed there at the house, like, thinking nothing of it, like, she's gonna be alright. Maybe, like, she was having, like, a attack or something. I don't know. I didn't think nothing of it. Well, my dad called me, like, 30 minutes later. I'm there chilling, smoking, of course. And he calls me, yo, mijo. And I was like, yeah. And he's crying. And I was like, what's up, Dad? And he's like, I got something to tell you, but I can't tell you until the neighbor goes over there. She wants to go get dressed, and she's gonna go over there. And he's crying. And I'm like, is she alright? That's all I want to know. Is she alright? And he goes, I need to tell you something. And that minute, I knew my mother was gone. I knew that she had left me. Because you could like, emotionally feel it, energy, like, you could pick it up from your close ones. And that's what I go off, energy. And I knew that moment my mother was gone. Because he wasn't telling me, you know, if she was alright, he would have said, yeah, but she's in critical condition. My neighbor got there. She gives me a cigarette. I'm smoking it. He tells me, your mother died. I was like, what? Like, that was my response, like, what? And he goes, your mother passed away. She didn't make it. I was like, what you mean my mother died? Like, he goes, well, we got here, and EMS took her to the back, and we went up there. We got into her room, and the doctor said he needed to talk to us. So we went to the room, me, your sister, and her brother, and they said that she was having a diabetes attack or low blood sugar, I don't know, something like that, and it led to a heart attack. And she snapped out of it, the doctor said. And then after that, she was doing okay for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then she went into cardiac arrest, where her heart completely stopped. And they revived her, but after that, it just gave out, like. And he's telling me kind of calmly, and I'm sitting there, like, trying to process that thought, like, my mother can't be gone, you know what I mean? Like, after all that was hitting me at one time, and I was like, my mother can't be dead. And he was like, your mother died. So I hang up the phone out of hate and anger for the world, because why the fuck would they take my mother from me? Why would God take her from me? And I was young, keep in mind. So I'm sitting there, I hang up the phone mad at the world, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, my mother's gone. Life's about to change for me. And it did, you know. About an hour later, my cousins picked me up, two of my close cousins, they picked me up and they were like, yo, you gotta go see your mother in the hospital. And I was like, well, she's alive? And they were like, no, like, they want you to go see her before they, you know, take her to the funeral. And I was like, fuck that, I ain't going. Well, I wound up going, you know, I think that was the best thing. So we get there, and I'm nervous as shit. Like, no one wants to see their parent dead, you know what I mean? I don't. I personally don't. So we get there, I go to the hospital, I walk up there, check in, get one of those fucking tags, and I go in the room, and everybody's there crying, like, all her family's there, like, what the fuck? And I walk in there, and I see my mom laying on the bed with a white sheet up to her neck right here, and she's there laying there, and she has this tube going in her mouth down her throat. And I was like, is she alive or is she dead? They were like, no, she's gone. I was like, then why the fuck is that thing in her throat? And they were like, well, it's to try to give her air. What the and she's dead. Why would you want to give her fucking air? You know what I mean? And they were like, you can't be acting like that here. I said, you know what, I'm out. I don't want to see this shit. I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to be a part of this. So I walked out. My dad's like, no, you got to stay. Like, I wasn't about to sit there and watch my mother like that. You know what I mean? So I left, and I went home, and it all started from there. It went downhill. You know, I couldn't cope with it. I left school. I just stayed in my room all day. And what's crazy is I had quit smoking. I was smoking marijuana, and I had quit that too. Nothing was like moving me at all, like beer, nothing. So I had stayed in my room for a while, and then it came time for her funeral, and I went, and it didn't look like her in the casket when I looked at her. You know, it didn't look like her at all. And I knew my life was gonna change after that, and it did. You know, after all that, after I put her to rest, and you know, at first they were talking about cremating her, and my dad said no, like, Becky, that's what they call my mom, Becky deserves a good funeral. And they were like, well, we can cremate her because it's kind of a lot. Well, they only had like 3,000, something like that. And my cousin, who was in Afghanistan, he was coming down. He said, I'll donate whatever needs to be put, which was like $4,000. I don't know. He donated quite a bit. He chunked off a lot. And that's how we buried my mom. And months later after that, life just changed for me, you know what I mean? I quit school, I quit smoking, I wasn't doing nothing, I was basically a bum all day. Rent came around, we couldn't pay rent, it was too much because my mom we were on housing, Section 8, and, you know, we couldn't pay that, we got thrown out. Landlord put all our shit on eBay for sale for free, basically. And when I got there, that day me and my dad went to the store, we got back, all our shit was in the front and in the back. There's people that go into our stores saying, oh, well, the landlord put it on eBay, which there's nothing good left. What do you mean there's nothing good left? That's our shit. So we lost our house. I lost my mother, lost my house, left school, was staying with some friends. We got thrown out. You know, that shit changed me physically, mentally, and it showed me that I should have been there for my mother. I should have took those signs and did something for her, but I didn't. You know what I mean? I carried that burden with me a lot because I didn't do nothing. I just basically watched her die, and I feel like it's my fault on top of all that because I could have chilled out, but you know, keep that image in your head. You're watching your mother die in front of your eyes, like not like dying as in they give her morphine and all that. No, like she's literally dying. She's gasping for air, and there's nothing you can do. So, in a way, I feel like it's my fault. I should have chilled out. Maybe they could have worked on her. But then at the same time, I don't think there was nothing I could really do. And there was nothing they can really do. It was happening. You know what I mean? God was taking his toll on human, and he was going to take her regardless. So, that was back in 2011. It's 2018. Through all those years, I struggled. I went through some shit, was homeless with my pops and my sister. You know, we're like three musketeers, and we stay solid. And where they go, I go. And that's what a lot of people hate. You know, when I get into relationships, they tend to hate that because, oh, why you carrying your dad around? You know, you're not supposed to support your dad. No, like, You understand, me and this man went through some shit. You know what I mean? We were homeless together, and I can never take that back. He had the choice to say, you know what, I'm not gonna step up and be there for them. Fuck that. Let him go to a system. He stepped up and he was there. You know what I mean? So I forever take care of my dad. So years later, I finally got my own apartment. I'm gonna be going back to school soon, enrolling in GED, gonna get into a trade school. I'm looking for a better paying job. You know, I don't want to work fast food no more. You know, I'm trying to fulfill my mom's wishes. And I look back and think, like, what will she think of me now? Like, what will she think of me? Like, damn, you're really trying. Like, I'm supporting my family. I'm taking care of them. I provide the roof over their head. Yeah, they help me with bills, but the main thing is we look out for each other, and family is all you got. You know what I mean? And it took me a while to realize that. I let girls brainwash me, like, oh, your family ain't gonna be there. Well, when I went to jail, my sister was there. Out of everybody I had, my sister bonded me out, who works a freaking a job at, she's working at McDonald's at the time. She got the money and bonded me out. So you're gonna sit there and tell me family ain't shit? Well, you ain't shit because you're my girlfriend, or you were at the time, and you couldn't even do that. So I don't want to hear that. But whole moral of the story is, I do miss my mother, and that took a toll on me. You know what I mean? You know, if I had advice to give, because I know a lot of youngins younger than me. I'm 22, like 16, 15. They asked me, how did you deal with it? I didn't deal with it. I ran from it. And I think that's why we were in the hole we were in for a while, because we kept running from it. And I finally stopped running from it, and I faced it. Like, she's gone. I had to accept it and do what she wanted me to do. And that's all she wanted me to do, was be successful and take care of my dad and take care of my sister. And that's what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? You know, you'll grieve for a little bit, but understand it. Nobody could take that away. No one could stop that. Like, oh, stop crying already. No, you can't. You know, you can't. And I vouch for anybody on that. You can't just snap your fingers and you expect to stop crying. No, you lost your mother, you lost your father, you lost your brother. That shit's gonna affect you mentally, physically, emotionally, and you're gonna carry that shit with you for a while. But my advice is to you is, don't let it affect you in a way where you stop living life. Keep going for your dreams. Make that person proud. Close or not, make them proud. Talk to them. They're there. And I feel my mom's here with me. Years later, I still feel like she's with me. You know, I was supposed to be dead years back. And that's another story I'll get into. But I was supposed to be dead multiple times. But I'm here because God and my mother. And she wants to see me successful. And I feel like I'm the backbone for my family. And, you know, don't give up, man. You know, I love all y'all. And I look at y'all like a brother and sister, which that's all we are in this world. That's all we got. It's family. So don't give up, man. Keep going. Keep pushing and strive for that shit. You know, rather you gotta deal with your boss being a dick or people talking shit behind your back, you know, F them. F them. You're not there for them. You're there for you. You're there for your needs. And save money, invest in the bank, save money, and you'll go far in life. Trust me. You know, it's not gonna come overnight. Hard work takes a long time, but you'll get there eventually. And that's what I'm trying to do. So, you know, I do miss my mother, and I do wish she was here with me to see my daughter, to see my sister's daughters, my sister's kids. And I know she's here. I can feel her sometimes. So yeah. Oh yeah, and then months, I think a year after that, her brother passed away from a heart attack. The brother that took her, because she only had one brother and one sister. She lost her sister from chemo, and she died. Her dad died first, her sister, then her mom, then my mom, and then her brother. So the whole family's like wiped out. Like, goddamn, God took them all. But her brother died from a heart attack. And it's crazy because I sit here like, damn, my whole family's gone from that side. So she was the rock that kept us together. You know what I mean? I know I'm all over the place with these stories, but especially this one. But I more or less covered the bases, as in I lost my mom when I was 14 back in 2011, was homeless, was staying with people, got thrown out left and right, went through some shit, stayed in a house with no light and water. This last year I stayed in a house with no light and water, and I woke up one day and said, F this shit, I'm out of here. You know, I gotta get a job, I gotta get on my feet, and I did. 2 months later, after working and saving, I found a place, and this is the place I found. So, keep going for it, you know. Strive for the shit you want, and no one can tell you different. But I love y'all guys, all my brothers and sisters. You know, if you like more stories, comment down below what you want to hear, or, you know, I'm going to probably be doing a video of 10 facts you didn't know about me, and I'll probably do that today or here in a little bit. I don't know yet, because today's just a chill day. I'm going to be inside all day, so I got nothing else ready to do, but I'm going to upload this story, and I hope y'all really look at this story and take it into consideration, and don't let that shit affect you. Keep going in life, do it for them. But I'm going to go ahead and hop out of here and go make something to eat. But I love all y'all. Y'all stay safe, stay warm, or wherever you're at, stay cold if it's hot. Remember, drink a lot of water, eat. Don't put off your eating, eat. You know what I mean? And take care of your family. Always tell them you love them every chance you get. Tell them you love them, because one minute they're here, next minute they're gone. And it can happen in the blink of an eye. And always get back when you got it. But I love y'all. Y'all stay safe. I love y'all. I'm out of here.